Hi guys, so I am reading a book called I Survived Hurricane Katrina in 2005. I've already started reading to chapter 7, so I thought I could read with you guys to chapter 8. So here we go. Stadium without Cleo threw up all day. Barry tried to help keep her calm, but even he couldn't get her to stop crying. Mom managed to talk to the doctor, who had advanced to Baton Rouge. He said there was a bad flu going around and Cleo wouldn't start to feel better for at least another day. Mom and Dad talked about going to the Superdome, but the newscaster on TV said there were already 10,000 people at the football stadium with thousands more lined up around the building. We're hearing there is not food for water and at the dome, the newscaster said. And if power goes off, it's going to be like an oven in there. Then they shouted. A man who had been turned away because he wanted to bring his little dog with him. They say no pets, the man said, holding the dog up to the camera, but I can't leave this guy all by himself. Looking at the crowds on television, Barry was relieved when Mom and Dad decided they were better off at home. Throughout the afternoon, Barry kept his eyes on the sky. By 6 o'clock, the wind had kicked up. The sky turned gray with streaks of silver. But the strangest thing was the silence. Their block was deserted. There were no motorcycles booming, no kids laughing and shouting, no music playing or basketballs bouncing. Usually the trees were filled with birds and frog chirped from the bushes, but there wasn't a bird in sight, and not a peep was to be heard. And then around 10 o'clock that night, the wind and rain started for real. Dad and Barry were settled on the living room couch. The baseball playoffs were on, and Dad had set them up with a feast of chips, salsa, and sodas. Mom and Cleo were fast asleep in Mom and Dad's room. The wind moaned at first. Then it started to howl, and finally it was shrieking so loudly Dad had to turn up the TV. Barry moved closer to Dad. Soon there were other noises. Boom, boom, boom. That's just the rain banging against the metal roof on the shed, Dad said. Kabang! Whoops, a gutter came loose. Ching, chong, there goes part of someone's fence. Dad sat there calmly watching the game, munching on chips. Barry remembered their plan to ride to New York the past summer. An hour into the flight, they had flown into the thunderstorm. How that airplane bounced up and down. It felt like a giant hand was dribbling the plane. Like a basketball, flashes of lightning exploded in the sky. A woman was sitting across from Barry, burst into tears. The pilot made everyone sit down, even the stewardesses. The plane rattled so badly, Barry was for sure one of the wings would fall off. In all that communication, Dad had just sat there reading his book. A few minutes time, he'd patted Barry's leg. Quite a ride, he said, never taking his eyes from the book, never once looking outside at the lightning or craning his neck to the scared expressions on the steward faces. And that is all to chapter 8. I will be reading chapter 8 another day, so thank you.